Okay, here we are. I'm Seth Holdren. We're here with Patrick with Wilkes Air Conditioning and Heating. Patrick, how are you today? And tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
I'm doing great, Seth. Our company is Wilkes Air Conditioning and Heating, and we've been in business for 41 years now. We're family owned and operated. It's a business that my father started in 1978, right out of high school, and he's grown it to a handful of employees, and now he's given me and my cousin Keith the reins, and apologize for that.
No problem.
Uh, and so on a daily basis, Keith and I run the business and try to take care of the customers, living by the principles that he set forth and our family values.
Okay, perfect. So today we're going to talk a little bit about home performance. Is that right? Can you tell us a little bit about what are some topics related to home performance, and what, as a homeowner, what are some things that I should be concerned with there?
Well, home performance is anything related to how efficient your house operates. Everybody's really familiar with how an air conditioner efficiency is rated in terms of SEER values and energy costs. But what a lot of people don't realize is that your home actually performs as a system with your air conditioner. And it has to do with insulation and air infiltration, meaning air coming in from different areas. Uh, Anything to do from gaps and cracks in windows and doors, uh, you know, cracks in the attic ceiling or holes there where fixtures allow air to come through and into your house full of dust and mold and mildew, and anything full of indoor air quality with home performance. Anything to do with those issues is related to that field.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about leaks and how leaks can happen.
Well, air leaks in general, most of them are put there by the home builder or the trades that actually build the house. So they don't just happen over time. They're actually there from day one. And those come from, if you look in at your ceiling, any lighting fixture is a leak into the attic space. They cut the sheetrock out, they put their lighting box in, and then they put the fixture, whether it be a fan or uh, just a chandelier of some kind. It it has a hole into the attic. They cover it with a fancy decorative plate, but it's not sealed. And so anything like that that you have in your ceiling is a big leak. Your wall outlets and your plugs are put there from day one. So the wires travel through the walls and into the attic space. They go through the holes that the builders put there for those purposes. So it's not necessarily older homes that are susceptible to it. It's a lot of newer homes as well that have these concerns, and it allows dust and heat and allergens to come through.
Very interesting. So, uh, are there other weaknesses in the home's envelope that we should know about?
Two-story homes seem to be more of an issue than single-story for the envelope purposes. If the floor is not sealed where it goes from the first floor to the second floor, typically that area is not insulated, and if it's not sealed properly, then you have uninsulated space in your house. And we find a lot of homes that are uh, look like they're sealed, but in reality they're just covered up with some cardboard more or less, and it doesn't stop the air from penetrating into that floor space. So it causes the downstairs to be uncomfortable, as well as the upstairs. People always say the upstairs is hot. That's not always because it's just upstairs. There may be something wrong with the way the home is performing in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just really quickly, in case someone has a direct question, they'd like to just go ahead and call you and ask any questions. Can you give me your contact information and how to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You can reach us here at the office anytime at 210-534-9911. You can check us out on our website at wilksair.com, and you can send us a direct question through that. We get the email almost instantly, and we generally respond to the emails on there within about 30 minutes or so, depending on the workload of the day. But the phone call is always the easiest, and that's 534-9911.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's jump back into some more home performance questions. So you talked a little bit about the envelope. Can you define, just on a basic level, what is the envelope of a person's home, if they're wondering what are you talking about with envelope?
The envelope of a house is pretty much anywhere you have air-conditioned space. So anywhere that you're going to live that's either heated or cooled. And that's the really basic way to look at it. So everywhere that you live is the envelope. The attic space would be outside of that. You're not trying to heat or cool the attic. That's outside of the building envelope.
Okay, perfect. I'd just like to clear that up in case, sometimes we can get into some jargony terms here that are inside the industry. So just want to make sure that everybody knows where we are. So,
Sure.
okay, so let's talk about energy loss. What are the majority of places where energy is lost inside the home?
Inside the home, the biggest energy loss is in your ductwork most of the time. We test homes on a regular basis and find that the ductwork is anywhere between 20 and 40% leaking, meaning that up to 40% of the air that you're cooling is going out into the attic space. That's a huge factor. So that drives other forces in the house to pull air in through the ceiling fixtures like we were talking about a minute ago, the wall plugs, and different door areas. Leaking ductwork, while it's the #1 leaking spot, if you seal that up, it also kind of solves a lot of the other problems that go with it.
Okay, good to know. So when you run into that type of issue, what kind of things do you do to fix it?
We like to give customers options, and so we go through to fix leaky ductwork, for example, or if we're looking at a whole home performance testing scenario, we can have different stages and kind of order it in order of importance and most effective. So it gives customers it gives them a plan to go by. If they don't want to do everything at once, we would start off with just sealing the ductwork, and that can be done either manually sealed or using a process called AeroSeal, which actually seals the ductwork from the inside out. We like to compare it to kind of like Fix-A-Flat for your duct system. Everybody knows they put the goo into the tire and it fixes the nail hole without having to patch the tire. Same thing with the ductwork. We more or less inject a aerosol spray into the duct system that turns to rubber whenever it starts to find leaks, and it creates a rubbery joint and it seals up the leaks very effectively. So we can seal the ductwork as a step one, and then step two, start to seal all the other holes in the envelope like we talked about. Again, lighting fixtures or plugs and things of that sort. And then from there we can go into adding more insulation into the house and a whole list of other things by doing that. But by giving the order of importance and then giving them a step-by-step plan to go with, we find that people may not do everything at once, but you're going to take care of a major problem and then solve the littler things maybe later down the road as you have the financial means to do so.
Perfect. Okay, so I've heard a lot of people talking about in their homes sometimes there are certain rooms that are cooler, some rooms are warmer than others. Can you talk a little bit about why that happens and what are some common issues there?
Yeah, hot and cold rooms is a really common problem that we get a lot of times. Customers are calling in, my master suite is hot, or my son's room is the hottest room of the house in the summertime. Is there anything we can do about it? And a lot of times that's with the sizing of the ductwork, so allowing enough airflow to go through there. Maybe it's on the end of a run somewhere, or it's a kinked duct or a crushed duct. So that prevents the air from getting to the room. Aside from the airflow into the room, we use thermal cameras in the house while we're testing them, and sometimes while we're not actually running a test, but we use the thermal camera to pick up insulation deficiencies. We've found homes with no insulation in an outside wall, or the insulation has sagged to the effect where it's only half of its value instead of its full value. And we find insulation missing in parts of the attic that you can't physically get to visually inspect it. So we use our thermal camera, and it shows up almost instantly of where these things are missing. So we're able to spot these uncommon problems for common complaints that customers have.
That's good to know that those types of issues might be able to be fairly simply fixed. So that's excellent knowledge there. So let's talk a little bit about dust. A lot of people are asking, why do I have so much dust in my house? Can you address that issue?
Absolutely. A really common call we get here at the office is, do we clean ductwork? And our general response is, well, why do you think your ducts need to be cleaned? And most people will say, well, I have a lot of dust in my house, and so my ductwork must be dirty because it's blowing dust into my house. And so we offer a free inspection. We'll go out to your house and check it out and walk through your home with you and point out different things that we can find, and then take the ductwork apart and look inside. 90% of the time we find that the ductwork is not actually dirty. And then while we're at the house, we're able to explain that it's not the ductwork that's dirty, but maybe the ductwork that's leaking, that's drawing this air into the house that's dusty from your attic space. So if you have a lot of dust in your house, chances are it's not your ductwork that's dirty, but your ductwork that's leaking and causing this dust to come in.
Interesting. Okay, so again, could you rattle off your phone number for anybody who might want to just give you a call right now and ask you, advice on this for their own home?
Absolutely. Call us at 534-9911, area code 210. We're here Monday through Friday and half a day on Saturday. We take as much time as we can with our families because we are a family business, and that's important in our industry. A lot of times, 24/7 is the key, and that doesn't leave much room for family time for our technicians or for us, for that matter. And so we like to have that balance. But yeah, they can call us at 534-9911.
Okay, perfect. Now a couple more questions for you. So if a homeowner's watching this and they're kind of wondering if they might be having some of these issues but they aren't sure, what are some things that they should look for that they themselves can identify? And then what if they decide they want to give you guys a call? How does that process work, and can you walk me through a little bit of what you do when you begin that process? How's that actually happen in where the rubber hits the road?
Absolutely. A few of the really common signs that you may have home performance issues is you may see dust around your AC vents in the ceiling. You may notice that your home is really drafty in the wintertime, or you have a room that just seems to get a chill when the wind blows. You may notice that that your air conditioner runs more often than what you think it should, and that could be a sign of leaky ductwork or insulation deficiencies and things like that. So when customers call us, again, 534-9911, when they call us, the process, generally they'll speak to me after our initial receptionist answers the phones, and I field all of the home performance or comfort issue questions at our office. We'll have a conversation on the phone, kind of like what you and I are having here. They'll describe what they're seeing, what they're feeling, and what they're looking to get out of it, and we'll give them a few common tips of what it may be or what it might not be, so that it kind of lead in the right direction. If it's something that we feel like we can help them with, and it's in our line of work, which most of the home performance stuff is, then we'll go ahead and set up a call. Best thing about it is that call is absolutely free. We don't charge to go out and visually inspect the house and give you our opinion and our diagnosis of what's going on. So it's a no-risk commitment to the customer, and we'll have general ideas. It doesn't involve the whole testing, but we can go through and say, well, yeah, your house is a good candidate for a test, and this is why. Or a lot of times we find there's something that the homeowners can fix themselves and point them in the right direction. It may just be simply caulking a few things around the home related to the ductwork or related to some fixtures and lighting and things of that sort. And if somebody's generally handy around the house and likes to do weekend projects, then a lot of the stuff can be fixed that way, and we like to point them in that direction. And again, all that advice is free, so they just have to call us at 534-9911, and we can set up the free appointment and walk through anything, so that way we can really tell specifically with their house and lead them in the right direction versus trying to diagnose over the phone.
Okay, so two more questions. The one I'm going to follow this one with will be if there's anything else that you want to cover on this topic. But you just touched on this. Let's just kind of drive it home. What offers do you have right now for anyone who's dealing with potential home performance issues, or they might be wondering whether this is an issue and they want to talk to someone and have someone look at their home and their systems and go over it? What offers do you have right now going on?
Like I said, the free service call is not only for home performance, but for any troubles that might arise with your air conditioning and heating. We don't have any service call for anything, and we'll give you advice absolutely free of charge for that. We do the blower door testing, meaning that it's a negative air pressure test on your house to test the envelope of the home. So we offer those services, and there's a coupon right now that's usually a $397 test and we're doing them right now this time of year for $297. So there's $100 off of any negative pressure test. Again, that's after the free site evaluation.
Okay, great.
And then as you cut out a little bit, but I guess that's okay.
No, yeah, that's great. And so give them your phone number one more time to take advantage of that offer.
Yeah, that's 534-9911. Again, 210-534-9911. And we service all of Bexar County and surrounding areas. So I give the area code out. Some people are in different area codes than we are, but that's a 210-534-9911.
Okay, perfect. And if anybody's watching this video on their phone or their mobile phone or their smartphone, they can we'll put the number right there so they can just click on it and click to call. So yeah, is there anything else that you want to cover about home performance or any other issues that we'd like to discuss today on the call?
There's a lot of opportunity for improvement of your indoor air quality. There are all kinds of UV light treatments and different ways that we can kill mold and bacteria and allergens in the air without having to do a really extensive duct sealing process or something to that effect. If everything's in decent shape, but you're having a lot of sniffling, sneezing, cedar fever, etc., we have UV light products and air treatment products that can that maintain the quality of air in your house once it is at a great level for you.
Okay, wonderful. So again, the phone number is right here on the page where you're watching this video, and if you could just give us that information one more time and maybe the how they can find you on the web, and then we'll end the call.
Absolutely. Again, phone number is 210-534-9911, and you can find us on the website at wilksair.com and click on the Contact Us button, and it'll send an email right to my phone, and we'll respond very quickly.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Patrick. This has been great, and you provided us with a lot of great information, and we'll end the call right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Seth. I enjoyed it.